Hi guys, welcome back to Balls Fan TV. Today we're back with another video of doing the match preview for tomorrow's game against Drogheda United at Dalymount Park. Coming off the back of a solid enough point up in Derry, half time, we were thinking, we'd be looking to come out of here with something, but thankfully second half we improved a little bit. We got the goal, and it's a result we probably would have took before the game as well. But yeah, look, thankfully we were able to get that goal after a pretty poor first half. But look, we're on to another big game here now, another big game in the race for Europe as we look to sew up a place in the top three now with 10 games left to play after this one. And yeah, look, it will be a tough one. Drogheda, they're the only team actually that we haven't picked up any points from this season. The two games we played against them, back in March in Dalymount, we lost 1-0. Then in May at Sullivan and Lamb Park, we lost 1-0 through a penalty through Douglas James Taylor, who of course plays for us now. So yeah, we did struggle to break them down in those games, particularly the one in Dalymount. That they scored a goal in the first 20 or so minutes, and we really couldn't break them down for the whole of the rest of that game. And second game as well, then up in Drogheda, it was a bit better. We were well in control of that game in the second half especially, but we just couldn't find that goal. But look, this time around, I think I'm a little bit more confident that we'd be able to break them down just with our home form especially as well. I think we're unbeaten in our last 5 home games. I think that the last home game we lost was Waterford back in May. Since then we played 5 home games, won 4, drew 1, and in those 4 wins we kept clean sheets as well. And our home form has been absolutely brilliant as of late, and we're looking to carry that on here. But look, it won't be easy. Drogheda, we spoke there about how they managed to keep us at bay for both of those games that we played against them this season, and they'll be looking to do the same here. But look, it's up to us to break them down and get the goals and win the game. But look, onto the team, I don't anticipate a whole lot of changes. I think maybe you could see Martin go back in at right back instead of Mountney. I think it will end up sticking with Cavanagh and Cambridge as the 2 centre halves. That apart from Derry's goal, I don't think they did much wrong. Brewer, he brings that element of calm. He's good on the ball as well as his defensive work. Cavanagh, has a mistake and we know that. But look, I think he's only going to get better by playing. So I'd have him, alongside Brewer again. Going up the pitch then, Douglas James Taylor missed the game last week through illness. So you'd hope he'll be back for this one. I think I would start him. Look, we saw in that Galway game especially, how good his link-up play was with other players, him and Clark. Their link-up play was excellent that day, and you'd be hoping for more of the same. Look, I think we need a bit of a focal point up there with how strong Drogheda's defence is. I think if you have him up there, he'll be able to battle with those those physical defenders that they have. The likes of Conor Keeley. Obviously it's his old club as well, so he'll be looking to prove a point. And that kind of opens up the door then for another conversation about what do you do with Clark. You'd assume anyway if Douglas James Taylor does start up front that he'd slip back into the 10 and Tierney would go back out onto the right. But I thought Rossi was absolutely brilliant in the 10 there last week. He had one of his best games in a long time, got himself a goal, and he done really well. And it does sort of hinder his performances when he does play out right. He doesn't really get involved as much. He doesn't really do what he can do best, which is kind of hang around the box and get a goal, not like he did on Friday. But I think you have to keep Clark in there. I don't think you can afford to drop him. That's the kind of issue you have when you have 2 really top quality number 10s in Clark and Rossi. I think we really need to see Douglas James Taylor start this game just so he can give us that bit of a physical presence up there up against that kind of hardy Drogheda defence. So yeah, I think even though it could hinder him, Rossi, I think he will go back out onto the right and Clark go into the 10. But yeah, look, I think that'll be the team. Like I said, I don't think there'd be a whole lot of changes, 1 or 2 perhaps. But yeah, on the game itself anyway, look, I think it's going to be very, very big if we do get the 3 points. It put us in a really good position then to say, look, we should be looking to tie up Europe through the league now and cement ourselves in the top 3. If you look at if we do get the win here, we'd be 6 ahead of Drogheda, and then we'd also be 10 ahead get a shield, with 10 games left to play. So it will put us in a really, really good position. And look, I'm obviously not going to go against us at the moment. I think with the way we're playing, the home form especially, we've been really, really strong. And look, I do fight just to get another 3 points here. It could be tight. We don't want to be finding ourselves in a position where we're kind of chasing the game, and we're having loads of the ball but not being able to break them down. Like it was in Daily Mount in March. But look, we're a much different team then. We're far more dangerous going forward. We're far more cohesive. I do expect us to have enough to get the win. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 win. But look, it wouldn't surprise me at all if we did keep another clean sheet. But Drogheda do have a little bit about them going forward. With the likes of Markey and Farrell and Warren Davis. They do have some decent attacking players that will cause issues. But I think we do have a little bit more about us than them. And with the, like I said, the home form and everything, I think we'll get the job done here, get a 2-1 win, and add to the belief that we will end up getting Europe Trip League now. We will cement our top 3 position. But yeah, look, it's up to us to do that now. Hopefully we will get the 3 points, and that'll send us into a bigger state of confidence that we will end up getting where we want to be, and that's in the top 3. So yeah, that's where I'll end up. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment down below what you're thinking heading into the game, or score predictions, and I'll see you for the reaction the day after.